Today in Santa Clara, the air is electric. A potential move that could transform the pass rush. Two rookies thrown into the fire who left an unexpected mark. A quarterback story nobody saw coming, and national recognition that's getting louder. There's backstage chatter. There's strategy. There's a big game twist. There's a high-cost decision, and guys proving their value when the lights burn hottest. The question is, will the front office be bold while the locker room is asking for more? You won't believe what we've got today. So take a seat, drop a like, and let's dive straight into the news. The locker room understands the moment. The defense is holding the line, grinding out wins, and opening a window nobody wants to waste. The game plan has become physical and patient on third downs, squeezing the clock and forcing mistakes. Only one thing is bothering everyone. When it's time to close a game, they lack that edge terror who changes angles, speeds up the quarterback's clock, and decides the final possession. Between looks on the staff and hallway conversations, the question lingered. There's an executive armed with data, a coach pounding the table for pass rush, and a cap analyst running numbers. The pro-move argument is straightforward. The NFC is open for the team that knows how to finish games in the fourth quarter. San Francisco already proved it can compete, but needs a pressure multiplier. The hottest lead crosses the map and points to a target that sets off sirens in the front office, a specialist in collapsing pockets and turning third and long into punts. In one-score games, whoever has a closer sets the rhythm. January rewards teams that generate heat without sending constant blitz. Time to speak plainly. Trey Hendrickson from Cincinnati. The idea doesn't come from desperation. It comes from respect for a roster that refuses to let go even without its primary finisher. Hendrickson is a master off the snap, converts speed to power, and closes with short levers. Exactly the profile that fits in San Francisco's wide 9-point. He can align wide to stretch the front, create angles for tackle stunts, and open lanes for nickel blitzes, multiplying the effect of line games and creating free runners. On top of that, his discipline against boots and play action helps contain mobile quarterbacks and keeps the edge intact. The likely price? A second-round pick. Does it sting? Sure, but let's weigh it. The window won't stay open forever, and the locker room's culture demands coherence between the message and the move. If the front office believes this group is on a playoff track, paying for a closer makes competitive sense. On the field, Hendrickson's presence changes protection calls, forces tight end and running back chips, moves the pocket, and in turn shortens coverage time, a gift for the secondary that gains 1 or 2 vital seconds. That shifts third down play calling and improves pressure to sack conversion, the kind of detail that decides January. Is there risk? Of course. There's terminology to learn, line game timing to sync, and the eternal injury roulette. But his recent production, durability, and compatibility with Chris Kokorek's high-effort demands reduce the margin of error. The fan base is split. Some want aggression, and note that second-rounders don't always become starters. Others fear giving up draft capital in a year with roster holes. Inside the building, the message would be powerful. The organization would be rewarding resilience with ambition. In the end, it's philosophical. Reward a team that survived chaos and still finds ways to win. And between us, sending that message to the entire conference changes the January conversation. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. The showdown in Los Angeles became a true lab for understanding the 49ers' immediate future. The rotation changed out of necessity, and two rookies ended up carrying more weight than planned. The raw stat line can be deceiving. Michael Williams finished with nothing in the box score, and while Marquez Sigel had 13 tackles, he struggled in coverage and surrendered over 130 yards on his own. But a defense's greatness isn't measured only by numbers, it's measured by decisive moments. And on the game's most critical snap, both showed up. Williams won inside, displaced the tackle, and forced Kyren Williams to bounce. Sigel, with help from Lenoir, shut the door and killed the fourth down run that sealed the win. That's impact, and you can bet the locker room noticed. That kind of play builds reputation, creates trust, and accelerates the learning curve. The Sultan of Swarm moniker Scouts gave Sigel isn't just branding, it reflects a style that sticks to the opponent even after mistakes. The heat of a debut brought flaws, but also resilience. For the staff, it means defensive depth isn't just filler, it's a weapon. And let's be honest, for a unit that lost pieces like Bosa and still finds answers, these young players are the difference between collapsing and surviving. Behind the scenes, Shanahan made sure to recognize the effort. While updating the roster's status, he also made it clear George Kittle is a long shot against the Buccaneers. That's a heavy blow. Losing an offensive leader of that caliber always hurts. But a positive forecast on Malik Mustafa's return reignites balance in the secondary. Every replacement becomes a survival puzzle, and the coaching staff is squeezing every ounce from each available piece. On the other side of the ball, the offensive line earned a mixed grade. Jake Brendel impressed in the run game, and beyond everything he already does with the ball, Christian McCaffrey showed elite pass protection. Even so, the unit isn't consistently sealing the pocket. Pass blocking gaps still show up. That puts pressure on play design, shrinks the windows for deeper routes, and forces Kyle Shanahan to get creative to mask weaknesses. It's pure chess. One wrong step, and the opponent detonates your backfield. And the fan base, split down the middle. Some view the win as a miracle, others see a sign of maturity. In the middle of that debate, one truth stands. The 49ers are finding answers where none seem to exist. For a team that entered the season surrounded by doubt, what we saw against the Rams is fuel to dream and to demand more boldness from the front office. But hold up, because what comes next is going to rattle Niner Nation even more. The controversy no one wanted but everyone talks about. Brock Purdy remains the starting quarterback, the face of the franchise, the man on the massive contract. Reality bites. He isn't healthy, and no one knows exactly when he'll get back to his standard. Meanwhile, Mac Jones has stepped in and changed the landscape. The result, a 4-1 start, unbeaten in the division, and the sense there's a real alternative. That's not a problem, it's a blessing in disguise, because if there were no controversy, it would mean the season was in trouble. Jones handled the heat against the Saints, Cardinals, and Rams, piloting an offense that refused to stop fighting, even under pressure. In Los Angeles, he went beyond, fought through brutal cramps, nearly got subbed out, but refused to leave the field. Shanahan himself said the next snap was already called for Adrian Martinez, but Jones slid into the huddle and said, "Let's go." He finished the game fueled by bananas and pickle juice, a perfect snapshot of football madness. And that posture wins a locker room. No one inside sees Jones as a threat to Purdy, but as a partner who holds the rope when the starter can't. For the national media and rivals, the narrative is irresistible. Are the 49ers more dangerous right now with Jones than with Purdy? The doubt messes with scouting reports, opponent game plans, and of course the fan base's patience. Technically, Jones is less explosive but more cerebral. He operates cleanly within structure, avoids unnecessary risks, and keeps drives alive. That turned into long possessions against the Rams' defense, wearing down the pass rush and creating late-game chances. Healthy, Purdy brings improvisation, extends plays, and dares to hit tighter windows. Each has strengths, each has flaws, but together they form an insurance policy very few teams can boast. Strategically, here's the juice. Shanahan, a coach obsessed with control, now has two distinct styles to deploy, tailoring the plan to the opponent. In the playoffs, that versatility can turn into pure gold. And honestly, who would have said a year ago we'd be talking about Purdy and Jones as twin engines of hope in San Francisco? The fan base remains divided. One side urges patience, remembering that a healthy Purdy already took this team to heights Jones hasn't reached. The other loves the fire the new number 10 brings and is already picturing a scenario where pressure forces Shanahan into a bold call. Meanwhile, the front office watches from the balcony. Either way, the team is secure at the most critical position in sports. And while rivals try to decode which quarterback they'll face, it feels like the 49ers just added a hidden card to their deck. And that's not even close to the week's biggest surprise, because what comes next goes straight for a fan's soul. What happened on Thursday Night Football wasn't just a win, it was a statement. No Nick Bosa, no Purdy, no Kittle, no Ayuk, no Jennings, no Pearsall. And even so, the 49ers silenced Vegas, the sportsbooks, and even part of their own fan base. Kyle Shanahan delivered a surgical plan executed by a group that seemed destined to lose, but refused to bend. During the first half, San Francisco dominated. The defense attacked gaps with discipline, forced Stafford to throw under duress, and choked off the run. On offense, Mac Jones worked the quick game, sustained long drives, and despite physical limitations, led with authority. The cramps could have been the breaking point, but became a symbol of commitment. He stayed on the field, ate the pain, and guided the overtime game winner. That image echoes inside and outside the building. And if Jones was heroic, Christian McCaffrey confirmed he's the heartbeat of the attack. He had 82 receiving yards and a touchdown, but beyond the stat line, he was an elite protector and a safety valve in suffocating moments. The most unexpected headline came from Kendrick Bourne, a street free agent a few weeks back who exploded for 142 receiving yards. That's not normal. That's coaching. That's Shanahan pulling maximum value from unlikely pieces and turning every shortage into opportunity. Even Jake Tongas, a tight end most didn't realize was on the active roster, found the end zone. These performances change narratives. Shanahan, always recognized as an offensive savant but underrated in individual awards, jumps into the Coach of the Year race. He's never won it, not even in those dramatic turnarounds, but now, facing an unforgiving schedule and a wave of injuries, he's got this team at 4-1 and alive atop the division. Kay Adams and others have started waving the flag, and with every improbable victory, that chorus grows louder. The weight of this win goes beyond the standings. It shows the culture is hardened, the system survives without stars, and the locker room fully buys the vision. It also shows NFC West rivals can't count on a soft 49ers decline. And for fans, it's living proof that even amid chaos and doubt, there's reason to believe in something bigger. But the season is long, 12 games remain, nothing is won, nothing is guaranteed. What's solidified tonight is that San Francisco has the resilience to face any adversity. And if Shanahan keeps this pace, it's not just the playoff push that looks different. The Coach of the Year race might finally have a deserving winner. Now here's my question to you. Was that just a heroic flash or the signature of an epic campaign under construction? If we stack it all together, you can feel this team's pulse: resilient defense, rookies growing in the fire, an unlikely quarterback carrying the group, and a coach elevating every piece. The message is simple: the window is open, but it demands courage on and off the field. With a decisive pass rush, health trending back, and a locked-in locker room, San Francisco can turn scares into an unforgettable January. Now I want to hear you. Is it worth paying for a closer? Does a healthy Purdy change everything, or does Jones deserve a run? Drop your take below, share with the Niner Nation, smash that like, and subscribe. We're back tomorrow. Faithful, we keep pushing.